I'm going to work on my playing card. And the first thing I'm going to do is I brought in my template for the playing card. It's the AI file. And I'm just going to go and grab my text tool, and I'm going to come out here and type just a Q. It's very small. Really small. I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to come over to my character, and I'm going to change this to 120.
120.
And I want a capital as well, not lowercase. So hit a capital. I'm going to change the font from Myriad Pro, which I have, to Arial. And then I'm going to change it to bold. And I am going to give it some red color. Like that. Oops, I forgot to highlight it for the red. Okay. So now I have this, right? And normally what I would have to do is, if I was making this playing card, I'd have to make a copy of this, right? I'd press Option, and I'd come down here and invert it, and then put it down in this corner like so, right? But because I'm going to show you this reflecting tool today, or assignment, I don't need to do that. So I'm going to get rid of that one, say goodbye, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go grab my pen tool. And I'm just going to start up in this corner. I'm up in the right corner, and I'm going to press and make a line going across. I don't think I did that very well. I'm going to try it again. Put a line there, just going across to the bottom opposite corner, and I'm going to get out of this by pressing V on my keyboard. Okay, so what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to go to my selection tool, hit V on my keyboard, and I'm going to click on this line. Just click on it so it's active, right? And then I'm going to go to my layers panel. I'm going to open my layers panel, and you can see I have my original layer, I have path, I have that Q there, and the path is what I just drew. But I'm going to go down to this square with the plus sign in it, and if I hover over it, it says create new layer, and it puts a new layer on top. And I'm going to double click on that and rename it and call it card mirror.
CARD CARMIRWR.
And my computer agrees with me as he spelled it out for me. Alright, so I have a duplicate of this, and I'm going to select both the Q, meaning I'm going to come up, make sure I have my black arrow selection key. I'm going to draw a selection around the Q and this line that I just did, right? So they're both active. And then I'm going to right click and say arrange, and I'm going to send it to the current layer here. But before I do that, what I want to do is look over to my layers panel and make sure that I have the card mirror layer selected. So I click on that. See how it changes? So I'm going to reach over here and click that, and then come back and say send to current layer. And what happens is this line turns red, and if I look over my layers panel, I actually have a red. This indicates selected art. So it's going to mirror everything that I put over there. So let's just say I came over here and grabbed the ellipse tool. If I made a circle here, hold on, I'm sorry. Before I do that, I want to click on this little dot right next to it. The red dot, there's this little circle here and it says click to target, drag to move appearance. I just want to click on that so it has that little highlight to it. I'm going to Command Z so you can see what I'm saying. Selected both of these. Okay, just kind of repeating what I did. I'm going to select the card mirror. I'm going to come over here and right click, say transform or arrange and send to current layer. It adds that red dot. I'm going to click on that circle right next to it. Okay? And from there, I'm going to go up to Effect. And I'm going to go to Distort and Transform. And go over to Transform. And this panel opens up. So what I want to do is come down here where it says Reflect X and Y. And if I hit the check marks there, you'll see it moved my Q over there. So it's reflecting the X. And then if I click on Reflect Y, it comes down here. And right down here where it says Copies, I want to insert one copy and hit OK. So you see now that that Q that I had up here is reflected down here. And here's what I was trying to show you earlier, is if I add the ellipse. So anything that I'm going to add up here is going to be reflected down here. And we just got that by adding that simple line with the pen tool across our shape. All right. I'm going to Command Z, get rid of that ellipse, and I'm going to start to draw a design. And everything I draw up here on the left is going to be reflected down there. So I'm just going to start with a rectangle tool. And I'm going to start drawing something like that, maybe nice and big. I don't want to fill in it though. But I am going to make the stroke, and I think I'll make that black. And maybe I'll make it 10 points. It's red here, it's black down there. But when I click off of this with the selection tool outside of it, you see it is black. But while I'm working, I'm just going to use this. Okay, so I'm going to put some designs in here. And I think what I'll do is I'm going to make another small rectangle and just put it inside of here. Something like that. And move it up into here. And then maybe make that a little bit bigger, like that. And then I'm just going to hold the Option key down, click on the center of this, and move this up. Let go of my mouse first. And something like that, so that I have two even kind of shapes here. Yeah. And I'm kind of building this, my queen. And okay, so far so good. I think what I'm going to do is start building a little face in here. And I'm going to start with this. I'm going to grab this direct selection tool. I'm going to click on this anchor here and then just grab this small circle and pull this up a little bit like that. And maybe I can pull this one down now. I'm going to grab that and maybe just pull, whoops, I didn't want to grab that. I want to grab this one. Yeah, maybe something like that. Yeah, that'll work. Let's see. I'm going to add a small little face in here. So I'm going to grab my rectangle tool again. I'm going to create a little eye. I think I'll fill that with black and put that over in here. It's kind of nice. You see everything I'm doing here is going to be added up there. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger now. Let me click on that. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger and make this a little bit bigger too. Yeah, move my eye up. I'm going to create a nose out here. And I'm just going to use my pen tool to create some more anchor points. I can just click on that. Well, I'm just going to add 3. And I'm going to go back to my direct selection tool. I can hit A on my keyboard. And I'm just going to come out and drag this out here. Like that. So I just added 3 little anchor points and I dragged the center one out. I'm going to go grab my pen tool, make a little smile on my queen. Maybe just make that point and then pull this out, something like that. I have a smiling queen. I might add some more rectangles up here for a little crown, something like that. And maybe a little bit thicker. And again, I'm just going to hold my Option key down and click on that and drag this over, let go of my mouse first, right? And then I can drag over another one, let go of my mouse first, still holding my Option key, drag down another one, something like that. Okay. I'm going to add a circle down here at the bottom. So I'm going to grab my ellipse and I am going to do something like this. I just want half a circle and I'm just going to use a rectangle and Pathfinder to cut it in half. I want this circle to be on the bottom here. So I'm going to stretch it out a little bit like that. And I want it to match up with that like that, I think. Yeah. Okay. So all I'm going to do is cut this in half. And the way I'm going to do that real quick is just grab the rectangle tool, make a rectangle, go around it like that. And I'm going to use Pathfinder to say minus front, right? I'm going to do the one right next to unite. So grab a selection around the 2 of these and say minus front, and it cut off that. There's other ways to do that. I just did that because I like I like using Pathfinder a lot. Okay, so I'm just going to move this up into place like that. Yeah. Okay, perfect. So far so good. I'm going to add some color in this bottom part. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to fill it with some red. And I'm going to add a little design down here, like a little flower design. And the way I'm going to do this is this. I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to go over here to the right in the lower part of the Tools panel. And you see that I have these small 3 little ellipses down here. One says draw normal, one says draw behind, one says draw inside. So if I double click on this and I click on this, you'll see it gets this weird little pattern, and it has this perforated dots on there. And now I'm going to come up in here. I'm going to grab my ellipse tool one more time, and I'm going to make another circle like that. And you'll see that, and I'm going to fill that with a color. I'm going to go to blue and say okay. And you'll see that if I move that ellipse around in there, it only is effective inside of that because I clicked on that draw inside. Okay? So with that active, I'm going to make a little flower. I'm going to make like a little design here. And the way I do that is I'm going to go up to the top, and I'm going to go up to object, and I'm going to go down to where it says repeat, and I want to say radial. And it created this little flower for me. And I'm going to move that into place a little bit. Click on it and move it into place like that. I can make it a little bit smaller so I can see it a little bit better if I need to. Okay. All right, I'm going to click outside of that. You'll see that once I did that, if you look up at the top of Illustrator, it says card mirror. And I'm actually active down in here. I want to get rid of this draw inside, so I can come up to this little arrow here and click on that one. I'm right here. And it takes me back in here where this is active. Okay? So I'm going to color this in. I'm going to add some shapes. I can grab my pen tool and maybe make some little patterns going down here, working between my pen tool. So I'm hitting V and P. And back to P. Dragging down. Back to V. Back to P, and so on. Just kind of creating some little shapes, patterns, I guess you'd say. Something like that. And the last thing, I'm going to add a little sword, and then I'm going to color this in. So I'm going to grab my rectangle tool and just come down here and create a little rectangle, make it like that. I'm going to grab my direct selection tool, grab this end, I click outside of it, I come back in, and I click. I'm going to add, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to add another anchor with the pen tool right there, and then come back with my direct selection tool. Kind of pull that up. Maybe I'll just do it like that. Yeah. Okay, and then I'm going to rotate that. Maybe move it over to the center, something like that. Oh man, how come I have a point down here? And I'm going to add another little rectangle on the bottom of that. And rotate that. Something like that. Keep it pretty basic. I think I'm going to grab my pen tool, put a little line in there, like that. Yeah. And maybe I'll add one more little rectangle for a handle. I'll just make it over here. And I'm going to grab that. Put that down there and rotate that. Something like that. And then I'm going to start filling this in with some color. Maybe add some blue to my sword. Oh my God, come on. Maybe add it down there as well. Maybe make this one a little bit different. Maybe a little golden. And I'm going to do that with the rest of this as well. But the main thing is you see this mirror going around like that. I might group these little swords together, select them all, right click, and make it a group. And that'll make it easier for me to move around. Okay, I'm going to come back and add some colors, as I said. Over in this one, maybe I want to add some gold in there. I'm going to keep it kind of basic. And maybe some red down in here. Let's see. Maybe. And I'll just continue on and add different colors in different spots. And that's it. Basically, you can free to make your own design though.